Now in lesson 2 we gauged our piece of stock to its actual final thickness, and we would have planed down to those lines. We would also have taken the second piece of stock and we planed it to its final width and also planed it down to those lines. And that would give us then our finished sizes on 2 pieces of timber, which is called PAO, and that's planed all around. Now today we're going to introduce a little bit of setting out on our first joint, which is a Tee Halving joint, which will go together like so. You can clearly see the setting out of it there, and the waist on the ends there, and the X's marked to show the waist, and the gauge lines there also. You'll also see the face mark, which is here, face side, and the face edge clearly marked. Same thing occurs with piece B there. You can see the waist shown, and you can see the gauge lines, and you can show also the face mark on that and the edge mark. So that's what we're about to do today, and we'll introduce the tools as we go along then to process a joint that'll look like that. So let's go and do that now. Now before you start, always ensure that your pencil, I would normally use a 2H for marking out, is actually sharp. I would always use a piece of maybe 240 grit paper there just to hone the edge. So you notice when I say hone, that means I'm sharpening like a chisel. So now I've transformed the pencil literally into a tool, a marking tool. Good test for accuracy is this. If you put the pencil on the back of your hand there and you press there like so, if it doesn't hurt the back of your hand, it isn't sharp. Always keep your piece of material like that with graphite on it clear of any workpiece. You don't want to contaminate it. Now you're ready to mark out then. So now we're going to mark out that particular jointing system that I have there. We're going to start from the end, and we're just going to introduce some waist, and we're going to measure the waist. Why? Simply just to get used to using a rule and to marking accurately. Now to start marking out, I'm just going to measure 10 mil from the end, and I'm working off the face side or the face edge only. So first of all, I measure 10 mil. Here, I'll flip my piece around. I'll measure 10 mil from this side. I'm always working off the face side or the face edge with the square. That's 2 lines. In order to find the center point for putting the piece in there, I use the stock itself. By pushing the stock with the square up to the end line, I then measure the distance from here to the end point, and then I divide it by 2. In my case, that's working out at 118 mil. So I'll measure 118 mil. It's only one measurement. And then once I have that line achieved, I can then catch my stock and push it up to that line, like so, accurately, take away the square, and simply mark the line here. And that'll give you an accurate line. Now you transfer your lines all around by ensuring that you're working off the face side or the face edge at all times. So that's done in this fashion here. So we'll transfer those around, and the sharp pencil will ensure your accuracy at all times. And I have to turn this one around like so, and I flip over the square. Why? Because the face side is here. Now I'll transfer my lines around, all around, and then you'll end up with square lines all around. For piece B then, we'll just come on to piece B, which is this guy here. That's what it'll look like when it's struck out. So our new piece here for that, I've already measured in my 10 mil line there. And piece B is easier, of course. I have my waist of 10 mil on both sides. Piece B is easier. All I have to do there is catch the piece and run it up along square to the end line, like so. Take away the square, like that, and one line, like so, and that's it. Now, again, you just repeat and bring the lines all around. So we'll jump on then to the actual marking. Now we've got our 2 pieces marked out and our lines all around accurately done. We're now ready to come to gauge the joints themselves. The width of the material in this case is 28 mil, and the gauge is set to half of that. So it doesn't have to be half, but as accurately as you can get to get started with. So you can put a pinpoint there, and you can actually reverse it there to see does it work out on center. Now because you're working off face side and face edge, if you're a little bit off, it actually makes no difference. It's the principle that will work all the time by working off a face side and face edge. Anyway, we go back to marking. You're going to mark as always off the face side or the face edge. So I'm against the face here, and in this case I'm going to run down over the edge here, down on the end there, and I'm going to go down there like so. Now when I come to this side, I want to stop at that line there. So what I do is I spur a mark on the end like that. And using my gauge then, I'll just push down gently, and when you get down to the end, it'll stop at the point like so. I hope you can see that now on camera, and that's marked from the face side. Now when I come to the second piece, it's exactly the same thing. I work off of the face side, and in this case, I put a spur mark here at the bottom line, like that, and I'll run down from the top line to the bottom line, nice and gently, and I'll get a gauge line like that. You flip the piece over, working off the face side all the time. I'll spur the bottom point, like so, and I'll come back here, and I'll just run down from the top line down to the bottom line. Now, that's the gauge lines done. You can highlight them. I would normally highlight it with a sharp HB pencil, just to show the line like that. So we highlight our lines. Now, the only thing you have to do now, you have all your lines set out, you have your gauging done, and the last thing, which is most important, always mark your waist. If you don't, when it becomes more complex, you will make mistake after mistake. So in this case, if we go back to our finished piece, we have piece B running up there like that. I'm calling this piece A and piece B. So piece B is going to run up. That means the front part of piece A is waist. So the front part of piece A, we call this A. Front part of piece A is waist. So we mark the waist. I'll go back to my HB pencil, it's softer. And that's waist there, and it's waist on edge to that point there. Come to the other side, that's waist also. And while I'm at it, I'll mark the waist on the end here, just so for practice. Now, there's my piece B, and there's my piece A marked out. And that's the first bit of marking out you've done with a sharp pencil, using the square and using the gauge to get your depths. So that's how I would do it. And the next thing then we'll meet in the next lesson, of course, is we'll introduce the saw, and we'll also introduce the chisel. So we'll see you in the next lesson. Hope that's useful. Over and out for now.